Hey to all my kings and queens, this is Project X. I'm Dara.
I'm Audny.
We're going to be hosting the discussion. Let's start from left all the way down and introduce ourselves.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Qetsiyah.
I'm Lauren.
Today we're going to be discussing political views and how that defines your pro-blackness.
Look, we gotta wake up from a system of materialism. This guy's thinking if we're gonna see another day. Cause day to day we see another life, which is baby. Everybody's living in the world that they
Very broad, but let's see what we can come up with over here.
So right now I'm gonna talk about locally what's happening in Ontario. So if we don't already know, we're under the Ford government. So that is the Progressive Conservatives. What they've really done is they slashed funding for low-income communities, and they slashed funding for anti-racism initiatives. If you don't know how detrimental that is, especially for the Black community and for anybody of color right now, is that those anti-racism initiatives had $400,000 to just really attack the upbringing in white supremacy and right-wing extremists. So Guelph, I'm from Guelph.
Oh, can you let them know what you do in terms of your co-op?
Oh, so I have a co-op at our MPP's office. The constituency office is nonpartisan. I do not talk about this stuff in the office. Anyways, so I have been to the legislature of Queen's Park. I've seen Doug Ford in the flesh. That wasn't fun. But anyways, so with those anti-racism initiatives, Guelph itself was almost the top 3 for what are those words called?
What?
For racism, racist attacks. What's that word?
Racist attack?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you're trying to say.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Crime, something crime.
Yeah, crimes against...
Hate crimes?
Hate crimes, yeah. Sorry guys.
The whole time.
Yeah.
When are they gonna get it?
Why did you say it?
Yeah, he didn't know.
Yo, you're an off. You're an off. That's an off right there. Keep going.
I mean, for hate crimes, especially with the rise of hatred towards the Islamic community. So those that funding was towards helping people have education, etc. There's only $1,000 to anti-racism initiatives right now, and that's only for advertisement and etc. So our government doesn't care about us in a nutshell. Low-income communities don't have access to, they want to privatize healthcare, which will really affect low-income communities. And
in Canada, they want to privatize healthcare?
In Ontario, yeah.
That's what is
you never knew that? You have to understand, when you guys look at, that's why I said, when I say, does it affect your pro-blackness, everything that you're saying, and when you look at, you want to say your political views, but really you are supporting a party. And when you support the party, you support the leader. And you have to understand that Doug Ford you have to look at his priorities and where he's coming from. He does not really care about low income. He doesn't really care about minorities. He cares about him and his friends and his homeboys and what they're doing.
Also,
he cares about supporting them. He cares about supporting the rich. So when they privatize healthcare, it's because his friends have enough money to afford privatized healthcare.
They said that in the legislature before.
Wait, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, we can talk about Doug Ford specifically, but when we talk about political views, it should be kind of broadened because, yes, Doug Ford is making policies that favor the economy.
Yeah.
This has been going on for how long, Because the main focus of leftists, of liberals, of, democratic parties is the people, of course. But at the end of the day, conservatives, I feel like conservatives have the one up all the time when they want to prioritize the economy simply because it's a capitalistic organism. That we don't, the way our society operates does not favor, socialist views and whatnot, and that it does kind of suck. So at the end of the day, most policies are from time, even now it's just an exemplification of how it's always been, and to where governments will always, make decisions that favor their economy. All I really care about is the economy, and you know what I'm saying. So personally, I feel like if you care about your people, if you care about, when you say they make an attack on people who are, of lower class, more than normally it falls upon a lot of minorities. They cut funding towards helping minorities. They're not going to care about that because it's always about their money. So tie political views into, you know, pro-blackness,
Exactly.
you have to be on the left side.
You have to be on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, before you go, Qetsiyah hasn't spoken yet. I want to hear
Yeah, I just want to say, like, about politics and stuff, it's like everywhere, you know, like when people, like you were saying before, you have to like see what people are for, like the leaders and the parties, the priorities and stuff. And if you're like, you're Caucasian and you're watching this, I don't know if you will, but if you're watching this and you vote for someone who is against, let's say, immigration or is against like minorities and stuff, but you say, oh no, I just voted because we have better pension. You're voting for something that is against us, or you're not pro-black, or you're not pro-minorities, or whatever. You are okay to vote for something that's against people of color, like black people, for your own benefit. You know what I mean? So people who say that they're not racist or they're not against minorities, well, you don't care enough to vote for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I have something to say.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna go Lauren, Audny, Marcus.
Okay. The thing about Doug Ford and like in this specific province, voting for him, a lot of immigrant families and a lot of black people, a lot of Caribbean people voted for Doug Ford, specifically because he was anti-LGBTQ+, and he wanted to amend the sex education program in order to put it back to the way it was in 1998. And so they wanted that because they are not, because they are not a government that wants to focus on consent, sex education, and sexual contraception, and have sex education as a right. And so immigrant families are people who really are very steadfast in their beliefs against LGBTQ+ people a lot of the time, and that's not everybody, I'm not generalizing, but that is a lot of the reasons why those people wanted to vote for Doug Ford. And if you think about your pro-blackness, and how that affects who you vote for, and especially in this province, even though those people are black, even though they're immigrants, even though they're minorities, they still were so homophobic and so specific in their beliefs against a set of people that they were able to put their pro-blackness aside and vote for the eradication of an entire system that would have benefited them.
Wow. Hold on, let Audny go.
Okay.
Oh no, it's a quick point, right?
Yeah, this is a quick point.
Yeah.
I think that you can be pro. I'm not saying that I am pro everything. You know, I support the LGBTQ community. I'm saying you can be pro-black and just not be. You don't want your child learning about.
But
there's
the poem, the Hangman's poem, I think it is. They came for, what was it? First they came for the Jews, and then the whole poem goes on, and then they came for
I feel like
us.
even if you're part of a minority, like a
They
minority
will
group, you gotta support other ones too.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. I feel like if you, sorry, it's just a quick thing. If you're like you know discrimination, you've felt discrimination and stuff. To me personally, I don't think it's okay to wish that upon others. You know, like you can't be like, oh, I'm pro like minorities and then like be against LGBTQ+ people. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make any sense because you're also in the same position. We have to like stay together.
They hate you, they're gonna hate everyone else.
Exactly. So I don't get how you can be, you know, like be a minority and then still be against other people. You know,
I think it's so much of a. I'm sorry, Audny, you've been trying to talk about it. I think it's just so much of a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like when you look at, like, for example, like you try to tell my dad about, like we were just watching Say Yes to the Dress, and then the way that I'm just like, Dad, like this is normal for what's that guy's name? The one that keeps on doing the dresses.
The guy.
Randy.
Yeah.
He's like, every time Randy comes on the screen, like my dad is vexed, and I'm like, to be honest, like that's Randy and that's him. Like that has nothing to. And he's like, yo, but like he's just not normal. He's just not normal. I'm like, okay, but that's normal for him in his world. He's like, well, his world isn't normal either. I'm like,
and that's normal
and
for
that is just so
men.
and that's just so cultural. Like especially in the Caribbean, coming from minority, like different minorities that come here, their cultures, the Eastern world cultures. That is just it's not so much talked about LGBTQ. Like if you even look at the legalization of it, it's mostly in the Western world that we have these conversations about it. Go ahead.
Okay, so going back to our government now.
I'm actually after you. Sorry.
Anyways, the Fords, the people that are on Ford, on Ford's government are an OLG, the owner, the CEO of OLG, another, I forget, like, they, like a lot of people that own the OLG, horse racing, beer, all those types of stuff. So there are people that you voted for, those MPPs, they are there to support their business.
Yeah.
Because again, PCs, okay, I'm not PC, I support you, like whatever, you know what I'm saying, but progressive conservatives love businesses, they want to support the business owner, yet it's detrimental to the workers, and that's why there's NDP. I'm not an NDP either. However, these people don't care about us, they want their businesses, so they're putting money back into the lottery, back into beer, etc. They're cutting our funding, but it's going back to their hands.
If you don't mind saying, what are you? You said that you're not NDP, you're not conservative. Would you mind sharing?
Like, I have liberal views, but I don't know, I don't really like.
Like you don't associate yourself with a party because
not
every party. Trust me, they all sit down at dinner together.
That's
what my mom said. Don't worry about these people, these leaders. At the end of the day, they all sit down and have dinner together and call it a day.
They do.
Marcus, go ahead.
Okay, well, me personally, I feel like I'm half and half. I'd say I'm half conservative, half liberal.
You did tell me that before.
Both point of views have both sides. But I feel like, personally, if I was to become a politician, hypothetically, I wouldn't represent one of the parties. I just say I'm for both sides. You know, I'm independent. I'm not part of no party because something needs to say conservative, something needs to say liberal. One thing that you need to take in is that we live in an individualistic society to where people only vote based in their own favor. So if you're rich and you're white, you know, it would be completely unethical in your eyes to vote for anything that supports minorities. And if you're a minority, it would make no sense to support the rich, right? It's like, it all just is dependent on the individual. When can we, as, you know, a country or as, you know, even the states to come to a compromise to where we come up with certain policies that favor everybody? Because they're not willing to give up their money, and we're not willing to give up the fight. It's going to be back and forth. We're going to have a liberal prime minister, and then we're going to uplift a little, and we're going to have, you know, people like Doug Ford come in position, and then bring us back down. When do we find it in between?
When you talk about liberalism, you have to understand that liberalism is conservatism. That's the word liberal itself is what they're fighting for independent freedom. That is the whole point of the word liberal. That's what it means. Conservatism is defined as something that is not rational. That's its literal definition. So it's something that specifically, as Audny was saying, benefits a group of people, that their right-wing beliefs are only to benefit themselves. And their rationale is completely irrational.
The thing is, they can make policies that only benefit themselves. They're the foundation of Western society. They came over, stole land from people, and said, now this is a capitalist economy. Everyone, you're on your own, make money your own way. But
they call themselves liberal. That's what liberalism is. So when you take it away and you put like neoliberalism, and you look at how that type of liberalism, or liberalism that's more to the left, that favors a socialistic ideology. When you break up those ideologies and you look at what you're actually fighting for, that's where it becomes more precise. So the Conservative Party is something that is fighting specifically for not only capitalistic views, because liberals also have those views, but they are looking to create a society that is independent in its freedom. And that's a freedom from war, a freedom from having anybody like attack you in your country. But
this is conservative?
Yeah, it's liberalism. That's what.
This is
hold on.
No,
that's so confusing, but that's what it means.
Going back, if you're not Canadian watching this,
that's
MPPs.
For America, but
MPPs are member of provincial parliament. MPs are member of parliament, so that would be federal government, because we have federal, provincial, municipal, and
provinces for us are like states.
Yeah, so provinces are Ontario, whatever.
Americans are stupid.
Kind of like the states, except states have individual laws that are only for them. Yeah.
And their senators, etc. But
different.
I'm like, okay, I think
different.
because you were saying, I'm going back on what you were saying, right? How like here like in Western countries we're more like individualistic, right?
5 minutes.
Yeah. The meaning of
it comes to individuality and
exactly.
your own capitalism, I say that's more rightist.
Go ahead. Guys, let Qetsiyah finish.
For me,
Leftist is more like...
Guys, let Qetsiyah finish. Please let her finish.
Me being from like African descent, the way I've been raised is always thinking about others first.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Y'all are nice as hell.
You know, we usually, like, if you meet like Congolese people and stuff, you're always the type of people to help others. You know, without any question, without being like, oh, you need to pay me.
It's a community. It's a community thing.
Yeah. It's like more.
Even the Caribbean.
So to me, I don't have a problem to sacrifice something so that for the betterment of someone else.
Exactly.
And I think that as a society, maybe we should rethink our values and rethink what it is to, you know, be human and be there for others. I feel like we need to re-educate our values in order to be able to sacrifice ourselves in, you know, each person, you know, like how you were saying that rich people don't want to sacrifice their money and then we don't want to give up a fight. Maybe we should like all find something that we are willing to give up so that we can both benefit, you know?
But at the end of the day, they're not giving up their money.
No, I know.
Yes,
but
we're not saying
the idea.
Yeah, we're not saying what they are doing, what they're not doing. We're saying like
as an idea.
And then what we feel like should happen in society for us to progress, you know, as a community.
Within what's gonna happen, what's possible.
But that's a nice ideology. It's something I think we should strive towards as a country in order to put others.
It's not impossible because other societies do it.
It's not impossible.
In North America, people are stuck in their ways, and you know they're rich.
That's why we were founded on the idea of the freedom from of the individualistic creation of liberalism and how those individual freedoms separate us from European and Western European ideology. So that's the difference between America and Britain and Canada and all our thinking. But I really do like your point, Qetsiyah. I think that is
Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that's not gonna happen. I'm saying that at the end of the day, if we want it to happen, then we have to speak that into existence. And if we actually do want to fight for something, and like we feel like let's find a way that can be practical, and I feel like it can be.
And going back, we as a community need to use our resources, need to know that we can go into government, we can go to politics, we can have actual change. It's not that hard. And for me, I used to just, I used to just speak up about it, but working in the government right now is that we have so many opportunities that only white people really use. And we don't know that. So if we really talk to our MPPs, start petitions, not just ones on change.org. No, those have no impact. Okay, if you go to your MPP, they will fight for you in the legislature.
For you, governor. Be governor.
Oh, the governor's still or whatever. But like, us as black people, us as people of color, everyone, all of the rainbow, if you want change in your community, fight for it in a political sense so that will actually have an impact on our society.
We're going to end on that point.
Yeah.
Thank you to all my kings and queens watching. Guys, give her a round of applause. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this discussion.
Join the conversation.
Join the conversation, and have a good one.